live, it's Tuesday. And on Tuesdays, well, that's Social Tuesdays, where people who know way more about social media and social presence than I do help out. We look at some social profiles. We try to improve what we see, offer suggestions, and sometimes we even look at some people who are really killing it and try to figure out what they're doing right. So today we have John, we have Heather. Actually, I did that wrong because it should have been Heather and then John. I did it wrong because Heather joined last, but she should have come first, as always. Hey, Heather, quick question about something that we did last week. You weren't on last week. And but Dr. V, who's not here today, or might be later, and John sent me to look at the social profiles, and then on Wednesday, the website of Neil Schaefer. Is he like he's in your orbit somehow, right? Like I seem to remember you in some sort of event, but I don't know him. I've never met him or talked to him or.
Yeah, he wrote a book a while ago called The Age of Influence, and
Right.
that's kind of his shtick is about influencer marketing. And so he's doing what folks are doing, webinars and things like that. And very active on LinkedIn. And he actually sent a connection request to me. I posted, he's one of my, I go over through my influencers and then some micro influencers and comment a couple of times a week. And so he was actually really responsive. So he's out there, he's playing the game and in the marketing realm. So that's about as much as I know.
Was there some kind of event with him and you?
Not the two of us together, no.
No?
No, he's done a couple of webinars recently with an organization called Social Bee.
Okay.
Because I'm on the email list, so I'm getting a little
I got you.
Notice.
No, I thought I had seen him in one of your I thought I had seen an announcement with him in one of your Go Done live events, and so I had and I said online, I said live, right? Like if he's in Heather's orbit, then he's already pretty high up in my estimation.
Thank you.
But now I guess he can stay high in my estimation. But I guess I was mistaken about your connection with him.
Yes,
but John and Dr. V are fans. They say he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
He's super nice. I think I've only had some of his content, but I think it's really good, and he's there and authentic, and I think especially if you're on LinkedIn, because he sent me the connection request. Like he's looking to. I feel like he already has 1,000 true fans, but he's playing that game of be honestly helpful, go out, connect, and all of that. So yeah, Harry Dry is another one. He does marketingexamples.com. I love his newsletter so much. We should do a newsletter day. But he does a great job with his newsletter, and he does outreach and everything as well. So I like.
I was gonna say Mike Alton's another one that's kind of fits in that same zone. Real nice guy, very bright, and I think I met him and Neil same place. I can't remember where. So
there's good people out there who have lots of followers who aren't too fancy to. Reach out and to help out. I would just say, depending on who's watching, like if you're new to the social media realm, don't be like, hey, will you solve all my marketing problems for me? Like, this is not like, they're so nice, they're going to do all this free work for you. But it's a good place to be. And if you have somewhere where you want them, I think a great thing to do is to feature them and then let them know that you featured them and say, if you wanted to share this, that would be great. But, give before you get, even if they're the fancy person and you're the, still building your audience.
This is that sort of, I'm new, do it, that kind of help me out or connect or whatever. I mean, it's not inherently wrong, but people, especially younger, newer people in a field don't seem to realize is that, and this happens in copywriting all the time where people will say, I'll work for you for free in exchange for it's so do you not understand? The money is the least important part of that arrangement. First of all, my time for working with someone who's so new that literally everything has to be explained to them means that I'm already at a disadvantage in this deal. It's not a plus that you're not going to charge me for this. And then, of course, the chance that you do something so wrong that it would reflect on me and impact my clients or future clients means it is never worth the risk. I can't imagine a scenario where it's worth the risk to bring on a new copywriter who hasn't gotten their spots knocked off already. And then, and if they're at that point, there's no reason they should be working for free. So the whole we'll work for you for free thing, in case you're one of those folks that says, I don't understand, I'm even offering to work for free. It's a tremendous cost on our part versus what you're giving up. And I know you need the money, but believe me, it's still way more expensive on the part of the person that you're asking for the mentorship or, just the guidance or the co-working or whatever.
Right. Well, you just follow that person and figure out what they need. Not that you would work for them for free, but what are they looking, what kind of audiences are they reaching out towards? Is there something that you could do for them?
Yeah.
Right. And then they can, in return, feature your post, put you in there, you know what I mean? But what can you provide them that's of value to them?
Right.
And like you said, they're at a point where, and there's no such thing as free labor. You have to onboard somebody. When they talk about turnover being one of the most expensive things, it's because onboarding somebody, finding somebody and onboarding somebody and getting them to fit in is huge time suck. So that's a no. If you're not offering a gift there, even if the gift is like a compliment and would you connect with me, that's fine, right? But the big asks, like, understand what you're asking and put yourself in the shoes of the person on the other end. It's not free labor. It's like a ton of money to get you trained up, and who knows if you'll stick around because you're not paid.
Right. And then this probably the best example I've seen that explained this whole thing is from 20 years ago in a book called Freakonomics.
Yeah.
And imagine that you're selling your house and you have a real estate agent who's going to make a 6% commission, right? The real estate agent pushes you to drop the price of the house by $10,000. Well, yes, you're both taking a hit, but you're losing $10,000 and she's losing $600.
Right.
So it's definitely in her interest to get you to drop the price if she gets her money faster, because you're losing way more than she is.
Right. Well, and then that person's work is done. They don't need to show your house anymore. They don't need, right? Like if you look at dollars per hour
Their
spent,
costs go down.
I'd give up $600 to, you know what I mean, to be done now.
Yeah.
So, and start on the next one. That's going to be
That's
another
the
big
magnitude of the disparity when you're offering, you're new and you're offering to work for someone for free. Like, no, they're paying way more than you think. Anyway, what do you guys want to look at today? Who's going to share their screen?
I can share my screen.
Okay.
Ooh, go for it.
Buttons. Screen. I thought we could look today at Justin Welsh. And so Justin Welsh is another marketing person that I follow who has really good content. So I started on his website. And he is really looking at working with solopreneurs and wants to get them to like 5 million. You'll see this. I think it's down here a little bit or somewhere about getting people to solopreneurs, a portfolio of solopreneurs to 5 million and larger. So he knows who he's talking to. He's talking to solopreneurs who want to stay solopreneurs and build a business. And he has Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So I thought we'd start. I liked seeing the brand cohesion, seeing whether there is brand cohesion.
Sure.
And I think he's really interesting because I just did a quick glance before we came on at how he's running his 3 social sites. And he runs them a little bit differently. And I think he's using them as different arms of his marketing funnel. And so I thought it was pretty interesting. But I always like looking at marketers because they should have good strategy, right?
Yeah, they should know how to do this, right?
Indeed.
And can you scroll down a bit to show his other pictures?
You want me to scroll down? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he totally hit the Superman like bucket for me because I'm like, you look totally different with glasses on.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are, Clark Kent.
Yep.
He definitely belongs to, at least picture-wise, he definitely belongs to the Dean Way slight smirk instead of a smile photo mentality.
Yeah.
Looks just like mine.
I mean, and no open mouth smiles. And so he does come across a little intimidating and a little intense. This is not a dude I'd send a connection request to. Neil Schaefer to me was, I mean, he approached me, but
that's partly his facial expression and partly the fact that he's like dressed black on black.
And look, and the like crossed arms is just like, watch out for me. So
there's a difference between assertive and F off.
Intimidating. I don't know if he hits full F off for me. He's got enough of a little grin there on his left side.
But he's coming up against that edge.
Yeah, for sure. The black on black for me too.
It's a little professional arrogance.
There we go. And that
I'm no stranger to that. It's a character flaw.
Yes.
Yep. And so you can see on here he has the 3 different ways I can help you, which I love that he gets it narrowed down to just like, there's not a lot of question about what's going on. And so he has
cut the word different from that. Like if it's 3 ways, by definition, it's 3 different ways. Otherwise, he'd be saying the same thing 3 times.
Yep. Oh, look at that copywriting. Those copywriting chops are coming out. So he has the Saturday Solopreneur weekly newsletter, which is very good and short and one concept. And it's just text. It's nothing fancy. And he takes you through one concept, gives you a reading estimate. He also posts those on his website, so you can go check them out if you are reticent to subscribe. But it's one of the few ones I do subscribe to and read pretty regularly.
And it's pretty good?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It depends on where you are in your marketing journey. It's not, I'd say it's middle of the road. So I'd say if you're a beginner or intermediate, get there. If you're really specialized, he's serving solopreneurs. So he's not super specialized in any one area, but he does a beautiful job of getting like really rich, good content at each kind of area. So as a solopreneur, you're not going to have a staff of people, working on your SEO. So you're not going to get that kind of content.
The kind of newsletter where like he writes everything, or is it kind of newsletter where he curates other sources?
Right. He's writing it. And I think it's probably a lot of recycled
remove the word
content.
"you'll" from that paragraph. It's unnecessary. It slows down the reader.
Which one? The first one. Every Saturday
morning. Get one actionable tip. That's what it should say.
I love being on here with you, Dean, because I have a few too many words in every sentence I write.
Everybody does, man.
Yeah, that's me.
I love it. And so he has a couple of courses for online courses for solopreneurs, nice passive income stream, and then this 21,000 weekly views on your brand or product. And I think this is, I don't know what this is actually. Showcase your brand or business inside of a newsletter. That's what it is. So he's recently started. He closed down his newsletter and kind of restarted it. So I think he got really narrowed, and I'm sure his open rates are way better now and that whole thing, because I think he let go of a lot of gray mail. And just now, so I've been following the Saturday Solopreneur from the beginning, and I think just in the last week or two, he has started to offer advertising space in his newsletter. So that would be number 3. So for solopreneurs themselves, unless they've got a big budget with number 3, they're really playing on some drip learning from the Saturday Solopreneur. And then he's upselling his courses for his passive income. And then I'm sure the big dollar amounts will come from the sponsorship. So that's him in a nutshell. And then his, at least I think LinkedIn that I've been following, you're really looking at excerpts and stuff from he's not putting tons of new content. He's excellent at repurposing. So take a look at his Twitter. And what I thought was interesting about Twitter is obviously he's highlighting newsletter subscriptions in Twitter. So he's not talking about his online courses. It's not that they're not there, right? We see the diversified solopreneur building a portfolio. This is to 5 million in revenue. Tweets and threads about audience and business growth. So he's not selling his whole business here. He's really kind of taken one of the little pie wedges of what he does and kind of pushed it here. And you see, I mean, right there for me, the second you see the banner image, it's like, this is what he's selling here. And this is what this is about, which means this content is just straight up excerpts from what he's putting in his newsletters. So I like this because it's on theme with the black and that kind of green color. It's clear on what he's doing and what he's about here. And so I think it's clear and simple. And the other thing is, I know there's a software program called Revue, REVUE, that integrates with Twitter that can create a Twitter newsletter. So all the social media sites are trying to create their own newsletters because they don't want you to come off of social media and actually have your own newsletter. So they try to integrate it into the platform. So they're using Revue for that. But most of the marketing stuff I've read is just like keep those emails for yourself, but you can collect them through Revue on Twitter and then upload to your own email platform and continue from there. So, or use Revue as your email platform, but make sure you keep ownership and don't try to run 2 newsletters. So he's an advocate of that as well.
Very cool.
Dean, what do you think about his subheader? What word are we getting rid of?
I would have broken that into 2 sentences with a period after subscribers, and then just get rid of the second half of getting.
Yeah, I like it.
Or else I would have, once they were split, reverse them. So get one audience and business growth tip every Saturday, period. 31,000 strong, period.
I like it. I hope he's watching. John, any thoughts?
Doubt he's watching.
Oh gosh, not off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, I think he does a good job.
It's a 31 or 35,000. It's a little blurry. Actually, I take it back. I would have said get one audience, and actually in this case, because it's Twitter, especially, I would have replaced the "and" with an ampersand. Don't normally like to do that, but you can do it here. So get one audience and business growth tip every Saturday period. And then it just flew out of my head what I needed to say. Instead of 35,000 strong. Oh, no, I would have said now 35,000 strong. Gotcha. Like, as in, like, that's the very latest number now, 35,000 strong. So it gives more of an impression that, like, you're jumping onto something that's becoming popular or is already popular and is about to be more popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's no reason to not convey that if you have the space, and he does.
What do you think about his descriptor, the diversified solopreneur, building portfolio, etc.?
Yeah, see, Twitter tags can be tough, right? Because on the one hand, you're limited to, I think, about 160 characters, and on the other, like, everyone wants to say, as no one wants to leave money on the table. Everyone wants to like catch as many potential followers as they can. But the problem is, like, that is a lot of syllables for his first clause. Like, basically every pipe there, or the one pipe he has there, is basically a comma, right? It's not even a period, it's a comma. And so the diversified solopreneur, like, I would have actually switched that to Saturday solopreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, why not have it agree with the headline on his banner? Also, does he even need that?
Well, I don't know what diversified means for a solopreneur. Right. I have some thoughts, but it's making me switch into that part of my brain that's like, let's solve this puzzle, not like, this for me, click. Like,
yeah. I would have actually cut the whole thing
too high.
And started with building.
Yeah. Yeah, he already has solopreneur in the banner, so.
Yeah, he doesn't need to repeat it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another common mistake for companies, right? They repeat the name of the company or the name of their theme over and over and over and over. Like, everyone gets it, dude. That literally ran past my eyes and into my head 2 seconds ago. I can remember 2 seconds ago what I said or saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have a lot of real estate to work with in Twitter. Yeah. So it's like,
well, this is why I like these descriptors and picking through them with other brains, because I think it's such valuable real estate, but so tricky to get what you want in really condensed. I don't like building a portfolio up because that's all about him. It's like, you want me to be like a little, a hash mark on your bedpost. Like,
I would cut diversified solopreneur. I would say tweets and threads about audience and business growth as the beginning, and then he can follow that up with building a portfolio. Then it makes more sense.
I want to join my portfolio of one-person businesses.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here to build your portfolio. I'm here to make my business successful. So I want that tweak as well.
Yeah, he should have opened with tweets and threads, dropped diversified solopreneur, and he can leave the building a portfolio thing.
Yeah. Do you think you need tweets and threads?
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, technically it could just be, I don't know why he doesn't need it. Right? If you're asking, is it an example of internal repetition? It's not, but it's awfully freaking close to it.
Yeah.
Right? And we always avoid internal repetition. So, I mean, technically, if it's threads, it includes tweets.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's just different types of tweets.
He could drop that for speed, and it would take nothing away from his message. Nobody goes to look at someone on Twitter because of their threads.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he could say tweets, threads, and videos.
Had tweets, that would be
threads,
enough.
and graphics or whatever. And it's like, they're all tweets to me.
Yep.
All right. So, but overall, I mean, I think great person to model yourself after. I like to find marketers who do a great job. And,
I just signed up for the newsletter just a second ago.
Nice. I think you'll like it too.
Nice.
All right. Let's take a look. So when we head over to LinkedIn, you see his courses, these online courses.
Right.
So I think it's super interesting. Like, Twitter's all about the newsletter. And then within the newsletter, he talks about the courses at the end every time. He's got a little footer, that kind of thing. But here on LinkedIn, he's getting, because we have, he has more space, right? He's not doing these tiny tweets or trying to cram threads in and the whole thing. And so he's pushing the passive income, the online course work here as well.
I'm not clear on, like, what's he actually saying? Is he saying he's building a portfolio of one-person businesses for himself?
Well, I mean, so this is why I don't like, look what I'm doing for me, right? You want to be customer centric. And so what he wants to do is help a whole bunch of solopreneurs hit 5 million in revenue.
Then that's not what he's saying.
That's not what he's saying?
Nope.
What do you think he's saying?
There's nothing in there to imply that he's doing it for anyone else other than himself.
That's what I mean.
He's investing. You don't invest in solopreneur businesses. I mean, like,
he's
the
selling an operating
solopreneurs are
system.
investing. Is he actually giving them money?
Now, so my thought is that he's using his operating systems, right? He's using his education.
I mean, I would have done that tools to say helping one-person businesses grow to 5 million in revenue.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing I argued about on the Twitter, where it's like, don't tell me about what you're doing for you, building a portfolio. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't care about your portfolio.
I read it wrong on Twitter. I thought he was in like a VC for small business, and then I realized, wait a minute, that's not actually likely. Nope. Yeah. So it's broken on Twitter and it's broken here. Yeah. It's conveying a message he's not trying to convey.
Yeah. I just think it's about look at me and what I can do, as opposed to talking to me about me.
Yeah. Helping people build one-person businesses or grow one-person businesses to 5 million in revenue, that's fine. I mean, it's very specific. Why 5 million? Why not 3.5 million? Why not 1 million?
Yeah, I just want 2 million and then I'm retiring forever.
There you go.
I'm not quite his target market, but he's always worth a read. Always worth a read. I do think it's interesting. You'll see that he created a business account for the Saturday Solopreneur. Mm-hmm. Which is, and I've heard so many people say, like, I've struggled with a business account on LinkedIn and I wasted an entire year trying to crack that code and it's BS. Like LinkedIn won't help with that. But what it does is allow you to upload a graphic for your business. Yep. And then it shows up there as that graphic, that TSS, instead of just the blank avatar. So my guess is that's probably, let's take a look. Let's see what's happening over at Saturday Solopreneur. He probably just posts the most recent, this is supposed to be the Saturday Solopreneur. Where'd I go? So there's experience. How do we get there? Here we go. So it's got, so posts. Yep. So he's just doing, these are excerpts, I think, from his Instagram, as we'll see.
Doesn't Twitter say it's now 35,000 people? Or is it's kind of blurry actually on the screen, so maybe Twitter did say 32,000. I thought it said 35,000.
Nope, it said 35. He probably just hasn't updated it.
He needs to update that here, yeah.
I mean, and guess how often he's over here, right? My guess is this is an intern reposting content from elsewhere, because it's not a business driver for him.
No one puts much effort into their company page on LinkedIn, do they?
No, not at all. Well, I mean, you're not rewarded at all. Like, you can't. Like I said, I wasted an entire year, and I think it actually really harmed my business pretty substantially for me to keep trying on that, waiting for that magic moment. And it's like, that never comes. So.
The magic never came.
Yeah, nope, never. So I think his hashtags look pretty good. He's picking the big ones, but he's a big name with a lot of followers. So I think he can rank for those. And let's see where his grow and monetize on LinkedIn. So this is something I really like for people who are in creator mode. You can put your website here, and a lot of people just put their website here. I put a lead magnet here, but let's see what he put here. Let's see, it's
I don't think I have anything there.
Yeah. So grow and monetize your LinkedIn account. Right here, he's selling one of his operating systems. So he's just used a landing page for one of his products. So I feel like a smaller person, less well known, don't have the name recognition. I put a lead magnet here, get you on my email list because I need to build more trust with you. When you're a big name like this, I think you go straight for, and this isn't a huge dollar amount. This is, your mid-range dollar amount. And he
There's a typo in the subhead.
Exact system I used to go from 0 to.
Used should be past tense with a D.
Yep. Yeah. See, he should hire you, Dean. He needs a once-over.
I would not want a job where it was my job to find typos. Other people's brains are way better at that than mine.
Yeah.
But I can tell them what should have been said in the first place. So there you go.
Right.
That's a different skill set.
And I actually just put a tip from Justin Welsh in last week's newsletter, which I didn't realize in this featured section right here. So when you're in creator mode, featured section is way high up. The about section is way low down. So we care much less about that. This featured section is where it's at. And you see that you can put in the featured section. If you go to your own page, there's a little plus in the upper right-hand corner, and you can add an article, which is I have my articles in there that kind of function as landing pages. You can also add a link. And so he has links to his landing pages here, which is a way better, right? So links to the Saturday Solopreneur to sign up. And then, of course, this is the same link as the Grow and Monetize Your LinkedIn, that lower end first purchase. And so I think, and that's all he has in his featured section, which I think is interesting. For me, again, as somebody who doesn't have a lot of name recognition, I'm putting more in there than that. But if you're a big name, again, like fewer choices. Like, let's reduce the cognitive load. Let's get me right here. Here's my 2 choices. Which one do I want? $0 or am I ready to pay some money? So
yeah,
I think that's really well done. And then here's his activity. He doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles in there, just repurposing a lot of text.
Sure.
And then in his about section, I don't know if we want to go through that. It's pretty long.
Yeah, quite long.
I do like that he tells a little bit of a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, Dean. Yeah, no. That's a no.
I know what Dean's thinking.
What's Dean thinking?
I could tell that whole story in like 19 words. 2 sentences tops.
Right. You'd also started out a very different way.
I would start it a very different way.
You'd start with the top 4 kind of things.
Basically you make an assumption.
And then go on maybe.
Yeah. You make an assumption. And so if you, and he's in a slightly different category, so this might be fine, right? If the people who are going to his LinkedIn page already are likely to be subscribers, or they're already sort of like, they feel like they know him in some way, even as a weak tie, then you can start in and talking about yourself and your journey and all this kind of stuff, right? For nearly everybody, they don't have that.
Right.
And so someone who's reading the about section on their LinkedIn page, this might very well be the first encounter they've ever had with that person in any way. In which case, asking them to like invest emotionally and time-wise upfront to read your little story, it's not a good idea.
But Dean, don't you think if they got to that about section, they've already played up here?
No.
You don't think so?
No. A lot of people like get the fact that there's graphics in the featured section helps a lot. But a lot of people, I mean, understand, like LinkedIn's been around for 20 plus years, right? People will slide down to the about section to just try to very quickly suss out whether they should spend time looking at anything else.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be really interested. I don't know who can do this kind of research, but to see how many about sections get that show more clicked.
Yeah, I'd love to know that. LinkedIn doesn't share details like that.
No, LinkedIn doesn't share hardly any data. Nothing usable.
Although, yeah. And of course, I was going to say you could do like, heat map type stuff, but you can only do heat map on websites that you own.
Yeah.
And so it's not like anyone else is going to have that data either.
But right.
Yeah, I mean, if his assumption is the people who get to the about section are, already sort of, they feel they have some kind of connection, however weak with them, you can get by with a story, especially since he's basically he's the equivalent of an authority site, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're not paying for like specific anything. They're paying for what he's saying, paying in time, paying in money, whatever, right? So, I mean, he might decide he can get away with that.
Right.
But for nearly everyone else, no, the about section is not about you. It's about your reader. You're telling them their story with you in it, not your story and hoping you can bring them into you. They'll put themselves in your story. That's the difference.
Yep. Yeah. I'm getting the theme here. All about his portfolio and his bad boy picture and the whole thing. We need to switch it a little bit around and get it to point it.
Right. And he spent 4+ years at least, 800, 900 days, he said, building up like, his audience.
Mm-hmm.
So it is about him.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
People, right. So it's with you or me, it's not the same thing. For virtually every company, it's not the same thing, especially like B2B companies or mostly my clients, right?
Right. For sure. And I do think he taps into that. People want to be told what to do and taken care of because it's a big, scary world out there, right? He taps into that primal, like, Big Papa, I'll take care of you. I'll show you the way. So I think that there's a certain segment of people that respond well to this, I think.
Right. And so we're clear, by the way, either in the story, if you scroll up, for instance, to the top, or you go to his webpage. This is an example of, we talk about how like the 3 levels of messaging, right? And it's informational, which is, and you'd think this is informational, which is, here's who I am and what I do, what I sell, right? And it can come off as that. Then you have inspirational, which was you could be better, but he's actually doing a transformational message. Like you could be a new person. Yeah. You could stop being a cubicle, prisoner and break out into a completely different life. Like he's at it, which means almost by definition, he's a B2C business.
Yeah, for sure.
There are
Well, and he's speaking to solopreneurs. I mean,
yeah, but
it's right in there with the word
B2C,
solopreneur.
right? Under our definition, our sort of enduring, durable definition, it's B2C if the person you're talking to can whip out a credit card and make the purchase decision without consulting anybody. It's B2B if other departments, legal, procurement, budget committee, steering committee, board of directors, like if someone else has to be involved before a purchase can happen, that's a B2B sale. And a B2C is just, it doesn't matter if that person's a business person, an executive, like they own their own company. It doesn't matter, right? If you're selling it and they can make the instant purchase decision without consultation, it's a B2C sale.
For sure. Yep.
And so and you can only do transformational for the most part in B2C. And that's what he's doing.
Right. Yep. And we don't get to look at his Instagram, at least not with me, because I'm 1 minute late for my next appointment.
Oh yeah, we are never. Well, I think we might have to let Justin, keep his Instagram to his own people and not have us nitpicking him.
He's not super active on Instagram. I think it's like I'm here, look here, and then pushing him on.
Second thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna venture
Thank
forth.
you, Heather.
I'd
never heard Justin before. That was great. I loved it.
Yeah, that was great.
All right. Tomorrow is the worst day of the week, but we're gonna do a show anyway.
We're gonna do it. And you're gonna love it.
I can't wait. I'll be spectating.
I treat Website Wednesday like Hemingway treated writing, right? Having written is great. Writing is the bad part.
I'll bring the popcorn.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.